morning, everybody. Thank you for joining this last webinar for the FLEXIndustries project. Today we have our speaker, Matteo Bernabò, from our partner STAM. And this webinar is going to be about industrial flexibility and specifically how monitoring drives real-world validation. So I'll leave the floor now to Niccolò, the coordinator of the project, and then we will proceed with the presentation for the webinar. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Again, from the coordinator of FLEXIndustries. So today we will have this webinar about one of the most important aspects of the project. As you may be or not aware, we are in the last quarter of our project, and during this time we need to focus on monitoring and setting the backbone for the evaluation of our solution. So the solution implemented in the FLEXIndustries project. To do so, we have a dedicated work package, specifically the work package 6, led by STAM and specifically by Matteo, who is the speaker of today's webinar. So I won't take you any more time, and I will leave the floor to Matteo. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay, thank you, Niccolò. Thank you, Martina. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. I believe you did the presentation, and
yep.
Okay, thank you. So the topic of today is the monitoring activity carried out within the FLEXIndustries project, and let's see the agenda of the webinar. We will start with a brief introduction of STAM and the FLEXIndustries project, and then we will focus on the monitoring activity that represents the third step of the project methodology. To conclude, we will see two examples, two demo sites from the project, and we will see how monitoring takes place at these two industrial sites. So, STAM is an engineering consultancy company. It is Italian, and it has around 120 employees and 28 years of activity. STAM has 5 offices in Italy and 1 in Brussels. These are the 5 different business areas of STAM: robotics and mechatronics, digital solutions, energy and sustainability, research and innovation services, and engineering solutions. But what does STAM do within FLEXIndustries? STAM leads task 2.2, industries mapping and characterization on material and energy flow. But in particular, STAM is the leader of work package 6, multi-sectorial pilot demonstration and validation. And then it leads the first 3 tasks of work package 6. W6 is in charge of the commissioning of all the hardware and software solutions of the project, their monitoring, and the evaluation of them with the analysis of their impact. But let's move back to the FLEXIndustries project. It has 33 partners from 8 different European countries, and with a funding of 12 million euros, and it lasts 54 months. It started in June of 2022. And here you can see the different goals of FLEXIndustries. They are the elaboration of a flexibility assessment methodology for the 6 industrial environments involved in the project, the improvement of the connectivity between the information and operational technology domains, the delivery of the dynamic energy and process management platform developed under the project, the promotion of energy management methods aimed to support the local renewable energy sources capacity and the utilization of the storage solutions present in the project with the goal of maximize the flexibility at the different demo sites. Then the demonstration and validation of FLEXIndustries solutions at the 6 industrial environments involved, and the creation of new sustainable business models. Here are the 6 demo sites involved in FLEXIndustries. They are 4, Miloil, K-Flex, Stomana, Fertinagro, and Swan Pharma, respectively based in Turkey, Greece, Poland, Bulgaria, Spain, and Italy. And now we start with the project methodology. It is divided into 4 main steps: the diagnosis, development, demonstration and validation, and future vision and promotion. The monitoring activities mentioned are part of step 3, demonstration and validation, and they are divided into 2 main parts. The first one is the deployment in a real industrial environment. So the deployment of the solutions developed under the project, their commissioning, and then the validation campaign takes place. This is composed by a fourth part, that is the monitoring, with the target of 1,000 of operating hours monitored for each technology developed. And then there is the validation through the calculation of the KPIs and targets associated with the different technologies, and the impact analysis at each of the demo sites involved in the project. But why monitoring is important? First of all, monitoring allows us to set a baseline useful for know the starting point of the project and for comparing the results obtained at the end of FLEXIndustries with the starting point. And this is the basis for evaluating the project impact. Then the full year demonstration campaign of continuous data acquisition enhances us to calculate the performances of the FLEXIndustries solutions and to exploit them in the best way possible. Then the monitoring is the key to validate the digital twin developed under the project and to validate at TRL7 all the technologies developed. Here again, the target to achieve TRL7 is 1,000 operating hours of monitor data at each demo. And then the monitoring is the basis to calculate the impact of the project at all the demo sites involved in terms of energy efficiency, flexibility, and CO2 emissions. So these are the risks associated with the monitoring and the mitigation measures for them. The first one is planned interventions or actions not accomplished or not fully deployed. Here we have 2 main mitigation measures. They are the strong commitment of both public bodies and private companies to implement all the actions expected on time. And then there is a detailed working plan composed by a list of action, time schedule, and the indication of the responsible partners, and with the goal of start at month 36 the demonstration campaign in order to guarantee the target of operating hours covered. Then challenges implementing the proposed solutions at the demo sites, including delays in the demonstration activities. Here, a strong effort in the developing of comprehensive deployment and monitoring plans was ensured since the start of work package 6 and with task 6.1. And in case of additional issues, the demonstration team is in charge of call a meeting in order to analyze the problem and look for alternatives. Then the third risk expected is the sharp increase in price of raw materials and equipment. In this case, the solution or the mitigation measure is the use of alternative materials. And then there is the possibility from the industrial manufacturer partners to cover the additional costs using internal budget in order to realize their prototypes. The last two risks are difficulties in licensing and permissions for heavy works in demos. Here, the mitigation measure is clearly to start, since the initial phase of the project, the licensing and authorization process. And then energy savings overestimated and or operating costs underestimated. Here, energy savings and operating costs were estimated before the start of the project, and again a second time during the detailed engineering phase, so before the implementation of the hardware technologies. Monitoring, as said before, takes place under work package 6, and these are the main activities of work package 6. It has to carry out the commissioning of the other solutions expected under the project, the definition of the parameters that need to be measured at each demo site for each technology implemented in order to allow the calculation of KPIs and targets associated. Then work package 6 is in charge of guiding the retrofitting of the monitoring infrastructure based on the parameters defined. And then the monitoring campaign takes place, and after it, there is the evaluation of the results obtained in order to quantify the benefit of the project at all the demo sites. So now we have two examples from the project, two of the 6 demo sites involved. The first one is Swan Pharma, that is a pharmaceutical company based in Italy, in Rovereto. Here we can see the different actions defined in the grant agreement for Swan Pharma. They have 2 different goals that are the green transition and digital transition. For the green transition, it is expected the implementation of a PV plant, a battery energy storage system, and an high temperature heat pump. While on the digital side, we have the implementation of an advanced energy monitoring system and the connection with the FLEXIndustries platform for a continuous data sharing. For each demo site under work package 6, a dedicated Excel file was created. These files are composed by different sections and tables. The three main objectives of these files are to monitor, to closely monitor and follow the implementation of all the actions and technologies expected, with periodical updates from the technology providers, from the demo leaders, and from the RTOs. Here on the left, we can see for Pharma the periodical updates provided by the responsibles. Then there is the definition of the parameters needed for the evaluation that takes place after the end of the monitoring period, but the definition of the parameters is clearly takes place before the monitoring in preparation of it. And then there is the definition of the calculation method to validate the technologies through the calculation of KPIs and targets associated at the specific technology or on a global level for the demo site. As I said before, here is the first table present in the Excel files. And here we have two other tables. The first one links all the action to the related target or targets, to the related KPIs, and underlines which parameter has to be monitored to allow the validation of the action of the technology at the end of the monitoring period. Below is present a target with the definition of its calculation method. So clearly it combines one or more parameters measured under the demonstration campaign in order to achieve the result expected by the grant agreement, and in this way validate the technology related. Here you can see the monitoring at Pharma. It has the target of 1,000 operating hours for each of the other technologies installed that are, in this case, the BESS, the PV plant, and the heat pump. On the top, we have a screenshot of the local energy management system installed. And below, we can see the data sharing with FLEXIndustries platform. Here we have another part of another Excel file, and this file is dedicated to the gathering of the results of the monitor data and the calculation of KPIs and targets. This activity is in charge of RINA under task 6.5, and again is performed on a file that received data at the end of the demonstration campaign. So the other demo site that we see in detail is Fertinagro. Fertinagro is a Spanish company. The plant is based in Trias, and it is part of the fertilizers sector. Here we have the 4 actions of Fertinagro: installation of a 200 kilowatt hours battery energy storage system, the implementation of a decision support system in order to maximize the flexibility that we have thanks to the PV plant already installed, already present before the project, and the BESS installed under FLEXIndustries. Then the implementation of an energy monitoring infrastructure and the installation of a heat exchanger to preheat the air before entering the combustion chamber of the dryer. This action is finalized to the reduction of natural gas consumption at FLEXIndustries. Here we can see the installation of new sensors at the plant in accordance with the files shown before. So even in this case, we have the technologies and the related important parameters in the view of the monitoring and the evaluation campaigns, and the sensors needed to measure them. Even in this case, Fertinagro has implemented local software under the project. We can see the monitoring of the loads at different areas of the demo site, and the production of electricity from the PV plant present, as well as the consumption of natural gas and steam. Again, the local software installed in the demo site is in communication with FLEXIndustries platform. So, to conclude, monitoring is the key to validate all the technologies installed in the project, because it is the phase where technologies share data, and after the end of it, it is possible to quantify the benefits and the impacts of all of them. The pre-monitoring sheets developed under FLEXIndustries allowed us to link all the actions and technologies implemented to the related KPIs, targets, and validation method specified within them. Then the monitoring campaign was possible even thanks to the platform deployed under the project, in charge of receive continuously data from the field. And to conclude, the TR7 validation of all the technologies mentioned has the target of the 1,000 operating hours that allows to validate them and to calculate the impact of the project at all the 6 demo sites involved. And the presentation is concluded. Now it's time for questions, if there are any.
Thank you very much, Matteo. So at the moment, I only see a question regarding the presentation. We were asked if the presentation will be shared by emails with participants. I don't think we are going to share it by email, but I think we can upload it on our project website, so you can find it there. And also, I wanted to remind you that the webinar is being recorded, and it will be available in the next few days on our YouTube channel, as well as on our project website and LinkedIn. So if you missed any points of the presentation, you can watch it there again. So at the moment, I don't see any other questions, so I think we can close the meeting. And of course, if you have any more questions later on in the next few days, you can contact us online on our website. Thank you again to Matteo for your presentation. Thank you to participants, and yeah, Niccolo, yeah.
Yeah, just to thank Matteo regarding the presentation. It was very insightful, and just to complement and to add that, yeah, the monitoring period of this kind of project is really crucial, because we spend a lot of time in developing the solution in the design phase and so on and so forth. But at the end, without a solid monitoring period and then evaluation of the result, we cannot demonstrate that what we have designed and thought in the first place is let's say, on the hand, reachable, and on the other hand, solid and scalable and replicable across different use cases and industries. So yeah, thank you again to Matteo, to Martina, and to all of the attendees of this webinar.
Thank you, Niccolò, for adding this. Okay, I think we can close. So stay tuned in the next few days for the recording and the materials. And as I said, if you have any other questions, get in contact with us. Okay, thank you, everybody, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.